Hey there, it's Paul Goyette again from Goyette Associates Inc. and I'm here today to talk to you about decertifications. What is a decertification? How do you do a decertification? Or how do you deal with a decertification if some other person or entity is trying to decertify your employee organization or union? That's what I'm here to talk about today. Okay, to understand what a decertification is, you need to understand first what a bargaining unit is. And that's how your employer, a government employer, divides up employees in the city, county, district, state, or even federal government. They divide or group employees into bargaining units. And there's a whole area of law and a whole set of criteria as to how they set up bargaining units. And that's a conversation for another day. But bargaining units are set up, and each bargaining unit can have an exclusive representative. That's usually the union or employee organization that is the exclusive representative of the bargaining unit. A decertification is simply an election process where employees or employee organizations go through to change the exclusive representative of a bargaining unit. For example, there might be an incumbent union that is the exclusive representative of a bargaining unit for many years. A new employee organization comes along, or a new group of individuals come along, and they want to change that. They want to remove the incumbent exclusive representative and insert a new one. That's called a decertification. Now there's an important distinction you should be aware of, because you hear this all the time and people talk about this and they confuse the terms. The other concept is a bargaining unit modification. And a bargaining unit modification is where the classifications of employees in each unit get moved around a little bit. Now at the end of the day, it's up to your employer as to how to configure the classifications in the bargaining unit. So don't confuse a decertification from a bargaining unit modification. Make sense? Now, before I start talking about what a decertification is and how to do it, a question that comes up is, why decertify? Why does that question arise? Why go through a decertification? Well, we get calls all the time about decertifications, and typically what it is, it's employees or groups of employees that want to get rid of, that want to kick out the incumbent big union that has represented their bargaining unit for years. They want to try something new, and typically they want an independent. They want to remove the incumbent organization and insert an independent employee association to serve as their representative. That's one reason and how and why it comes up. The other reason it comes up is that there might be competing unions. One big union is competing against another big union to represent the employees. You see that a lot, and we often get involved in those on the defensive side or the affirmative side. Or lastly, sometimes a decertification happens because there's feuds or disagreements between groups of employees that are leaders in the same employee organization. So there are a number of reasons as to why it comes up, but those are the most common. Now the starting point on the decertification process is to understand what law applies to you. Duh. I mean, that's a good starting point, is always know the law. I got to tell people in my law firm that all the time. Know what to look at. So if you're, and it's determined by who you work for. If you work for a general city or county, you're going to be covered by the Myers-Brown Act, the MMBA, and they have a certain section in the government code that describes the MMBA. If you're a transit worker, for example, in the state of California, you're going to be covered by a different statute. If you're a state worker, it's a different set of statutes, again, all in the government code. If you're a teacher or a K through 12 employee, you're going to be covered by a different set of statutes. So it's important to understand the starting point. What are the laws that apply to you? For our purposes here today, I will assume you're a city, a county, or a district that is covered by the Myers-Brown Act.